everybody. This is Date, and welcome to the TNA Post Show. As always, I'm joined by none other than the fifth rascal himself, Burt Macklin.
How's it going?
It's going. So we have quite a few things to talk about. As we know, we had the Joe Hendry concert on NXT, and we had the Treehouse on NXT. I thought this was great. Joe Hendry's concerts never disappoint.
Well, obviously somebody didn't like it. Joe Gallus and the Gallus boys beat the shit out of him.
That's true.
But, and we'll talk about it later today. Joe Hendry just seems to be making enemies everywhere. So I think that's building to something, which I like.
Yeah, he's making enemies everywhere he goes, whether it's TNA or NXT. Everybody seems to hate Joe Hendry.
They don't believe in him like we do.
I know, I believe in Joe Hendry. But anywho, I cannot wait for that tag team title match opportunity for MSK. I hope they win. And I can't wait for Joe Hendry versus Joe Coffey.
It would be very interesting if they put the NXT tag titles on and one person being from TNA. I think that'd be very cool. But I don't know if it I hope it happens, but I don't know.
Same. All right. So let's get with Explosion. Looks like we're back to the one match format. Only one match on this Explosion. But before we talk about it, we had Around the Ring with Alicia Edwards. I thought this was an interesting little segment. I always dig the Around the Ring segments. Now, one thing that I like about this Explosion is that before the match, we had Giselle Shaw cut a little promo. I actually like that. I think it added a nice touch to the match here. I think they should do that before the matches.
Well, especially because she said that they're 1-1 against each other. So that kind of like, if people haven't been paying that much of attention or just casually watching, that let the audience know there is a rivalry here.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the only match we had was Tasha Steelz versus Giselle Shaw. This was great. This was a really good match. Great representation of the Knockouts division.
Yeah, I'm really glad Tasha won. Like, even though I didn't know that she's already had 2 title shots this year, I'm glad that she won just because I would think it would be a heel that takes the title off Jordynne at this point. And yeah, just because Giselle is seemingly a face now. So I'm glad Tasha won, because for a while I thought that like they didn't know what they were doing, like why they weren't pushing her, because I do think she should be one of their top stars. So I'm glad she won.
She held on to the rope.
Well, a win's a win. I don't know why we're, like I just said,
you're right.
She needs to like start getting more. I'm almost upset it was on Explosion, because wasn't there other match just recently on the pre-show?
No, it was a 4-way. It was on the pre-show, yeah.
And then obviously, they said that Giselle beat her Tasha beat her once on TV, or Giselle beat her once on TV. So I would like to maybe see them get a pay-per-view match leading to something big. So yeah, I'm glad Tasha won though.
I was rooting for Giselle, but yeah, happy Tasha won. She's great. All right. So let's get into tonight's show. Now we're going to start off talking about this wedding. As we all know, PCO and Steph Delander were getting married this week. This closed the show. And as we all know, contract signings, weddings, celebrations never end well in professional wrestling. And unfortunately, this was no exception. I kind of thought, I was like, okay, First Class is going to do something. Surprise, surprise. They didn't do anything. They just came out there and were a part of the party. But who ruined this wedding? Matt Cardona ruined this wedding. Matt Cardona making his return to TNA after being out for a few months with an injury. And he decked PCO with that cinder block. So I'm very curious to see where this goes. It looks like SCL was pissed that he ruined this, but I wonder if ultimately in the end she's going to side with Matt Cardona.
Well, he did wrap the brick up. Like, it was a nice gesture. And don't forget First Class came out there, and they didn't do anything. They just came out there to watch the wedding. That was very nice of them. But I wonder if this means Cardona. I could see Cardona and PCO having a feud. I mean, I would hope, because obviously if he's here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. I'm interested to see where this goes, because they do. Steph, FDL, and Cardona do have been teaming on the Indies, so this is interesting for that part.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Like, I know she got married, but is she gonna betray her husband?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, and I guess we gotta wait and see. All right, so tonight kicked off with a 6-man tag match. It was the Rascalz Smoke 'em If You Got 'em versus Kushida and Speedball Mountain. I thought this was a great showcase. According to commentary, this match paid homage to the first match on TNA 20 years ago, which was also an X Division showcase.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember the names. I think he said it was the AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn. I'm blanking on the other 4. But yeah, this was really good. All I kept thinking about in this match is I could see this being a future X Division 6. You know what I mean? Like match for the an X Division title, or I could see any 6 of these guys being X Division champion. No, this was a really good match. I think my favorite part was they need to call Guinness Book of World Records, because I think Zach Wentz hit the longest Bronco Buster I've ever seen. It just seemed to keep going and going. Hannafin was laughing. That's when I started laughing after he was laughing. I was like, that's very funny.
Yeah, that was a really long Bronco Buster.
And the Rascalz get the win, and I didn't catch the name of their finisher, but they have one of the best finishers in wrestling. That
hot fire flame.
Okay, he does a standing backflip, and then he pushes him. It just looks so sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a nice finish. Like I said, I hope they become tag team champions at the Good American Bash.
Or TNA should just make trios championships and put the belts on them.
I wouldn't mind that either. All right, so next week you find out from Jordynne Gray, she's doing an open challenge next week, and she gave praise to Ash by Elegance. That's nice to see, because, I feel like for the longest time, a lot of people were not giving Ash by Elegance credit, or they were not giving her flowers. I've always said from the very beginning that I liked the gimmick. I was praising her for the gimmick. I didn't dislike the gimmick, and I didn't dislike her. What I disliked was I thought that was not the Slammiversary match. But I will say she silenced a lot of critics, and myself included.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I do. I like how Jordynne put her over, said she earned that title shot. But more importantly, I think it just, in the bigger picture, I hope Jordynne does more of this, just in terms of, if she's leaving, which sadly I think she is, they need to start making the roster look credible and on her level. So I like this.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then she said she's issuing an open challenge next week, so I'm interested to see who that's going to be.
Yeah, me too. Is this someone from NXT? You have to wait and see if you. Let us know who you guys think it is. Make sure you send in a super chat so we can read your answer on the air.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's someone from NXT, but again, I'll be happy with anybody. Just I like an open challenge. I want to be surprised.
Same here. I like surprises. Well, good surprises.
Yeah.
All right, next we get a campaign Singh, and he's on the phone with Mustafa Ali, and we find out that he has to prove his credibility tonight. And who does he choose jumping ahead here? Mike Santana is cutting a promo, and props to campaign Singh for having the balls to interrupt Mike Santana. that was pretty ballsy of him. But basically, he challenges him to a match, and he's like smelling, and Singh is like, he's all smelling his clothes and stuff, which I thought was so hilarious. But we find out that he's gonna face Mike Santana later on in the night. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, why are you talking shit to Santana? And then obviously, Santana told him to go talk to Santino and get a match, and yeah, they did have one.
Yeah, they did.
And it didn't go too well for him.
No, it didn't, but we'll get to that right now. So yeah, the Rosemary versus Kristara?
Yes, Kristara.
Kristara. I wasn't a huge fan of this. I don't really like enhancement matches for established talent. I felt like, why is Rosemary facing an enhancement talent? We didn't get to see much of Kristara. Normally, I don't mind these enhancement matches when it's about showcasing the other talent. I just feel like this I didn't dig this.
I disagree a little bit on this one, just because going into it, I didn't really care too much for it, but it seemed like Rosemary was being more aggressive than she had been in the last few years, so I think that they're trying to do something different with her. She had new music, so I think this is another wait and see one for me. Maybe this could be something similar to Gresham. We could be seeing a heel turn here, so I do like that part of it.
I do like the fact that she gave her opponent a black rose, and Ash by Elegance was watching backstage. So I do feel, like you said, this is her setting up a feud with Ash by Elegance.
I do. It seems like they've been going that way for a few weeks, but yeah, like it's more clear now after the night.
It definitely is. All right, so the System cut a promo. I agree with you. You might dig this new Rosemary. Give something fresh.
Definitely.
So the System finally cuts a promo here after not speaking last time. And one thing that piqued my attention was the fact that JDC said he is the System. That he not only does he believe the System, not only does he trust the System, he is the System. So I kind of that intrigued me a little bit here. Is he trying to take over, like Upsur Moose or something here?
Well, first of all, I noticed how Alicia spoke first. So she is the clear leader. I think that's been established now. No, but I like how Meyer said we need a system reboot. I like how they all spoke, but I did like how JDC was talking about how he would take a bullet for everyone in the group. That inspired me. I like that. I think obviously, yeah, we're headed for a breakup, but it seems like that they're trying. They usually do something like this where they'll have some moments where they seem like it could work out, but I think ultimately they are gonna break up.
Yeah, we're definitely heading for a breakup, unfortunately.
I think it's already, you know what I mean, that it's already been decided.
Yeah.
The divorce papers have been signed. Have been filed.
And you know something? I do agree. It does seem like Lish is the de facto leader now. She's the only one holding gold. She's always in the middle when they cut the promo, so.
She should be the leader, yeah. She's the only winner in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And now is a time when they should slide Masha in there and have them both be the leader. You know what I mean? Because I don't need Masha to be a full-fledged member, but I wish they would have some promos where she interacts with the group.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened. So, all right. We get Josh Alexander, and he's supposed to come out into the ring and once again give an explanation for his actions, but he doesn't. He stays backstage, and he starts talking about how he carried the company, and he doesn't know anybody in explanation. This is true. And remember, I mentioned this. I said maybe part of the reason why Josh turned heel was because for so long, he was a heart and soul. Everybody was rooting for Josh. Everybody was cheering for Josh. But then here came Joe Hendry. They were in Canada, and the crowd was chanting for Joe Hendry over home country boy Josh.
You know, I felt so bad in this pro. Cue up the Raven gif. I felt like such like a mark because like I was expecting a explanation from Josh, but he doesn't owe the fans shit. He doesn't owe me anything. This heel turn is already. I'm already pretty much sold on it, and you can get the. Because I'm pretty sure we're in double digits now, but now I want them to put the title on him. Even though he had a very great run, you're right. Like all the reasons that you said, like it felt like the he did carry, and what he was saying, he did carry the company. And can we even go back to like, did he not get a shot when it was against Kenny Omega when Kenny Omega had the belt?
He was supposed to face Kenny Omega, but then I think Kenny Omega got hurt and they had to take the belt off of him, so they gave it to Christian.
Yeah, so I like this heel turn from him. To me, it makes total sense. And the more he speaks, and you nailed it perfectly. So, yeah, I hope that he wins. I hope he becomes champion.
Same. I want to hear Josh Alexander as world champion. I have to say his heel turn. I guess to compare this heel turn kind of reminds me of Eddie Edwards' heel turn when he first turned heel with Honor No More.
That's very true. That's more that's kind of what I was thinking maybe. But yeah, because Eddie was the one. You're completely right.
Yeah. So we gotta wait. We'll see where this goes. All right. Next we get Ryan Nemeth versus Frankie Kazarian. I thought this was a good match. Frankie Kazarian still continuing to be the king of TNA. I thought it was interesting that at the end, Josh Alexander came out and like he passes Frankie Kazarian and he goes into the ring and he just sees four spike Ryan Nemeth.
He deserved it.
Who? Ryan Nemeth deserved to get C4 spike?
Yeah. He turned his back on Josh too. Josh carried this company.
That's true. We find out Ultimate X returns at Emergence. I cannot wait for that. Let us know who you guys would want to see in this Ultimate X match. Send in a super chat to have your answers read on the air. But I wouldn't mind seeing 3 from TNA and 3 from NXT in this match.
One name popped in my head who should immediately win it, and that's Leon Slater.
Oh yeah.
He should win the match. It's already been booked, I would presume. Or at least I hope.
Same. All right. Jodi versus Masha Slamovich. Look, I feel, and I mean this in a good way. I mean this in the very best way. I like Jodi, I like Masha Slamovich. I just feel like this feud has been going on for such a long time, which is a sign that TNA needs to stack up the Knockouts tag team division. Because I feel like we're just going back and forth here.
I hope that that's the next stage in this working relationship with NXT, that they do send over some of the women's tag teams from NXT to TNA.
Yeah, same, because I can only see Masha versus Jodi so many times before I get tired.
Yeah, this match pissed me off too, just because Jodi and Danny Luna cheated.
Oh my god! Okay, Raywa.
And faces aren't allowed to cheat. Only heels can cheat. So that their cheating is very big cheating.
Can't wait for Ultimate X. He rebuilt the TNA house for Nemeth and Henry to enter. That's true. So next we get a really cool Hendry Vignette, and he's talking about how his goal is to become TNA World Champion. I really, really like this. I thought it was a nice insight to Joe Hendry, especially if you're just starting to tune in to TNA because of the whole NXT partnership. I thought this was a nice little insight. I really dug this. I like the fact that they went over everything that's happened so far.
Look how Joe Hendry is naming like a lot of people and just talking about he's making a lot of enemies. And the one thing I thought about again is that a lot of those names I would like to see in a Bound for Glory tournament, including Joe Hendry, and to see him have to overcome all those people who are like, going after him. that'd be really cool. Especially if that is in Europe, like or the UK, like they've talked about. I think so. Yeah, I hope that's where they're going with where he has to face a lot of these people who, because we haven't seen him get either taken out or losing a lot lately.
You can see the Slamovich didn't hurt him at all. No, it
No,
didn't.
that's sorry. Go.
I was gonna say, but who's gonna help Joe Henry? Would Joe Henry even need help? I mean, it's him versus like who? Frankie Kazarian, Josh Alexander, Gallus, AJ Francis in First Class. It's like that's so many enemies. How's
I like how Io pointed that out, though. There's just some people at certain points that are just there's nothing they can do to hurt them from being over, and he seems to be at that point right now. So,
yeah, I agree. Shout out to Io, by the way, because he's the one who listed all those enemies. So.
Yeah.
So we get Mike Santana versus Campaign Singh. Campaign Singh didn't even stand a chance here.
No. Yeah. This was just a beating. And then Santana hit just a brutal clothesline to win the match. Santana looked really good. And then I think he cut one of the... I don't remember really him cutting many promos, but I would say this is the best one I've heard him cut. This was really good. He's somebody who, belongs, and they're definitely positioned as like one of the next guys to be world champion, or that they have plans for him.
He called out Moose in this promo, and I dug this. He called out Moose, and he's basically making his attention known that he's gonna be world champion. So the question is he gonna face Nemeth? Are we gonna see Mike Santana become champion down the road? I cannot wait for this feud with Moose.
Honestly, I think that there could be like multiple plans in play, just because I think they do have Joe Henry in mind to win the title, but and it also seems like they're doing something with Josh as well. But like I don't know if Santana's time is very soon, but it definitely seems like he is a guy that they want in their future to be the top guy or near the top.
Santana versus Moose, sign me up. Hell yeah, sign me up for that one too.
Yeah, you could see like emergence. When did they say, like August 30th? Is that what it was?
Yeah, August 30th.
So that's 3 or 4 shows at least to build up, and we already know there's an Ultimate X match, and so you can see there's several like seeds that were planted tonight of matches that are probably going to happen.
I agree. All right, last but certainly not least, it was the TNA World Title match, Nick Nemeth versus Mustafa Ali in his final TNA match, for now anyways. I thought this was a good match, and I thought this was a great send-off for Mustafa Ali. Nick Nemeth did retain after he hit the danger zone. And of course, Josh Alexander came out and he was watching Nick Nemeth, obviously making his intentions known as well. But yes, this is Mustafa Ali's final match with TNA. He sent out a memo saying that he was done with TNA and he was going to be doing the rest of his indie dates. So, but hey, it was fun. You got to give Mustafa Ali his fucking flowers. Like, he came in and had one hell of a run as X Division champion. And I really liked his whole presidential campaign gimmick that he was doing here.
I completely agree. And yeah, and especially since it's almost like when Mike Bailey mentioned it, the X Division and the Knockouts Division are the two divisions the company's built on. Those have been the two strongest divisions, I would say, in TNA right now. Yeah, he had a hell of a run. I don't know how many defenses he had, but every match that he had was a potential match of the night, and a lot of times it was. So yeah, what a great run.
Definitely. I hope to see him again in TNA. I would not mind to see if he comes back. I hope he comes back, but hey, if not, at least he went out with a bang.
He's somebody I can see going back to WWE. I don't know if that's something he want. I have no idea, but I don't know. It's just one of those. He just seems like one of those guys that when he left, he was just going on the Indies, just kind of like retool a little bit, and hopefully to get back on their radar. And I think that he's in a lot better. He's got a lot better in terms of when he left, and when he left WWE. So, like, this gimmick was really good. This whole character that he was doing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. All right. Well, I guess that's it. That's everything. Bert, where can people find you? Do you have any last comments as we get ready to wrap up?
No, just on Exit Burt Mac 11. Yeah, we're on the road to emergence. So keep watching.
You can follow me on Twitter at @TheTell_. Talk all things wrestling, WWE, TNA, AEW. I go live on my YouTube channel, Rangers of Wrestling, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays. I cover WWE, AEW, and then here exclusively on Body Slam, I cover TNA, all things TNA. Like Bert said, we are on the road to emergence, so make sure you tune in every week as we talk about the show. Thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever we go live or whenever Body Slam goes live. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.